2 years ago, my darling,
Yes.
I brought you here and we did this fabulous manic cover.
We did.
When I interviewed you, remember in that limo? When you were rushing off to get back to the airport?
Yeah.
Right at the end of that interview, you said, you got to bring me back here, Raj. Do you
Here
remember
I am.
that? Oh my gosh.
Here I am. This is 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's been 2 years.
What?
I know.
How does time go by so
I have
quick?
no idea.
I don't get it.
Time shouldn't be going by too quick for you. I mean, time for me goes by too quick because I'm old.
No, whatever. I'm joining you off in that category.
So in 2 years, a lot has happened. Talk to me about what the last 2 years have been like.
It's been crazy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it's been a lot of wonderful, wonderful things, and then a few really nasty, horrible things which I had to deal with, like boring, like law-related lawsuits and all that horrible nastiness. Which basically explains the sort of lack of my music on radio and stuff like that. Thankfully, it is all over with.
Thank God.
These things happen. It's the entertainment industry. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? All of a sudden, someone comes out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
They're like, hello.
Yeah.
I want some of this. Really? Okay. So anyway, but it's been a wonderful journey. I mean, like the last 2 years, I learned so much about myself as a person, as a songwriter, as a singer. There was a lot of stuff that went down.
We always don't want to have challenges in our lives, but sometimes they just come and they bite us in the arse.
And they make you stronger though, they make you
Yes.
real. I tell you what I really realised, what was interesting was, see, I've been working on this album, which feels like 42,000 years. But it was all, you know, nice and ready to go, and some stuff came back from the past, people came back from the past, and like, excuse me, you're not able to release that, otherwise you're going to get, you know, this whatever, lawsuit and whatever. I'm like, what? So anyway, we got entangled in this crap, but during that time, it's almost a blessing because music changed, mainstream music changed so much. If you think about it, for example, the dance explosion over the last 2 years, every song you listen to on the radio was even at 6 in the morning.
Yes.
I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, what's going on? I had a chance to really understand that, hold on, I'm right in the middle of a massive change in commercial music. I need to either say, all right, I don't want any part of this and get left behind, or you try to understand, how can I take this modern sound, this new sound, and still incorporate my music, still make it the Jay Sean thing, you know?
Yes.
These things happen like through the history of music, like they've happened with Michael Jackson. He went from Quincy Jones to Teddy Riley because that's the new sound.
Right.
So you gotta, you know, so I learned all of that and I learned how to take on those challenges, and that really made me grow as a songwriter over the last couple of years.
And so what do we have in store once the 42 years come to an end?
42,000
years come to an end.
Well, what's the beautiful thing now, what happened was, I found that a lot of the time when you're creating music and you're creating it for the radio or the charts, there's a danger of forgetting who you are as an artist, what makes you unique. You start listening to, oh, that's working, maybe we need to do something like that. And I never really wanted to get caught up in that. I was always very fearful because I've been doing this, like I said, for 10 years. So I saw a lot of changes, nothing as drastic as this. But I didn't want it to be where fans go, you know what, Jay Sean, we kind of liked him 5 years ago, but I don't know who this new guy is. And I feel like there was a fear of that. And I made some mistakes along the way, actually. I did write some songs which I felt was too much of a departure from who I really am. So I decided that for this album, I only make music for my fans, that's it.
Right.
Who else do I make it for?
Right.
You know, they're the people who supported me over the last 10 years. I know what it's like as a consumer of music when, let's say, for example, if I'm a huge fan of, you know, Justin Timberlake or of Neo, and if I fell in love with Neo because of the fact that he had a song like So Sick and Sexy Love, that's why I got into him.
Right.
But if he doesn't go back to that at some point, 4 or 5 years down the line, I, as a fan, I'm going to be like, come on, man, yeah, that's why we love you.
Yes.
You understand? Even though he might be feeling something different, you've got to do something for your fans. They're the ones that love you. So that's what this album is. So if you loved all those R&B songs from me, you love those ballads, you love those tearjerkers, you love those sexy songs, you love all of that good stuff, that's what this album is for you.
And that is the brand.
That's it.
That's
why
who
I
you
realized,
are, sweetheart.
And that's why I was like, you know what, I can't afford to depart from that. So the album went through a lot of changes. And there are those fun tracks. I mean, let's be honest, you don't always want to either have, well, some people do always want to have sex, but, you know, or you don't want to be crying all the time. You want something uplifting, something fun.
Yes.
So you do need those up-tempo fun tracks, which also people know me for. They know that I put them in a good mood, right?
Yes.
That's what so many people say, oh, when I want to be in a good mood, I put on some Jay Sean music. So I got those for you as well on this album.
you really do have an emotional connection with your fans.
100%.
Every artist knows that it's a part of the game and you've got to do that.
Right.
And you don't always see it genuine. You know that they're looking to make their buck because they're the it person right now. And there's many artists like that, right? In 10 years, your career, 10 years in Oki, we've been around for the same amount of time.
It's the same thing with you guys in your magazine. If you don't give your readers what they love about your magazine, and you're looking at other magazines going, oh, they're talking about this, but that's not what you do. That's
not our brand.
Right, exactly.
You have to be authentic to your brand.
That's it.
The last 10 years, Jay, have seen so much change, massive dynamic change in many industries in terms of South Asian contribution, more than I've ever seen before. We're in a position right now with the music industry especially, everyone is kind of fearful, right? Because it's a different business today, right? With the kind of technological advancements.
It's the worst business model in the world, actually. Let's think about it.
Yes.
Let's spend all this time making a product and then at the end of it, you can have it for free.
I know.
It's a weird thing, which is why I'm saying, look, fans are the only thing in this livelihood. You know, there used to be a time in the heydays of music where the only way, if you fell in love with a song, the only way you could get it was you had to physically buy it and then you play it. Times have changed. You can't tell kids nowadays, you can't even try to force them and be like, you know, you should buy my music. They're going, why?
Yeah, I don't have to.
They would rather spend $10, I swear to you, having a signed piece of tissue paper because they can't get that for free.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? They would rather spend $50 to come and meet you if somewhere for a hug.
Right.
Not that I'd charge my fans for a hug, but I'm just giving a stupid example.
Absolutely.
Because they can't get that for free.
Absolutely.
So what it is, you have to understand that times have changed and you can't be so old-fashioned to say, please buy my music. But the truth is, fans know that if they don't buy your music, you're going to get dropped from the record label. Because the record label's not making any damn money. They're going to go, yeah, it's great. Jay Sean's got flipping 100 million fans around the world, but none of them buy his shit. So like, how are we benefiting? So that's the reason why I think it's important that fans understand the reason. It's not because it's going in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? It's for the... If
they want to see you more, they've got to support you in that way.
That's how it is.
Yeah, but you guys aren't making the kind of revenue you used to. The record labels aren't making the kind of revenue they used to. So they've got to look at different ways of getting your brand out and getting you endorsed, right? So what are you doing?
So what the labels do now, basically, they have something called 360 deals, where the biggest artists in the world are signing 360 deals now, which means any time I'm performing at a show, the label's taking a cut. If I'm selling some merchandise, the label's taking a cut. If I'm doing anything that is making money, the label's taking a cut. Because they're looking at it going, we can't just take your physical product anymore, because no one's buying the product anymore. They're downloading it for free. So if you're on the road doing a tour and you're making X amount of money, we need a cut of that. That's what it's called. The 360 deals is how the record company is surviving, how the record business is surviving, really.
But how do the artists survive?
We're good, fortunate from our fans, man. Fortunately, like I said, you know, we have a lot of, I'm very blessed and very fortunate that I have such a loyal fan base. It's ridiculous. I could go around anywhere in the world and perform. Because they're just there. So I could, you know, I can be on the road for the next God knows how many years, as long as my fans are like, I love Jay, I want to come and see him in concert. And that's what we do, that's how we live. It's gone back to the old school days when people had to just be on the road and they'd sell their albums at the shows. That's where it's kind of got to now. So, you know, we're good, and plus that we also, you know, if you're smart and you're a good, sensible Indian business boy, you can make that money and you invest it somewhere where you know it's gonna, you know, so a lot of us, we have, you know, we just got to be smart with the money and know that you got to make that last. Back in the day, people used to splash it around thinking it's going to last forever. So nowadays, you know, when we make it, we're very smart with it.
I know that you know I'm going to ask you this question, but I'm going to ask you anyway.
Go on.
You're a brown boy.
Yes.
Doing white music.
Well,
white black
commercial,
music.
Commercial music.
So why have you never you know, picked up elements from our community in terms of music, because it's so diverse? It's like years
since the beginning.
Since the beginning.
Well, because obviously, you know, when I started off, I thought it was so cool and different to use, you know, Indian samples, Indian instruments and stuff, because it comes natural to us. It's organic. It's not a, you know, a contrived thing. So it was very organic in the beginning, and then I felt like it became a gimmick. Because like what people do is they go, oh, Jay Sean, oh, that guy who uses the Indian stuff in every song.
Right.
In every song. I'm looking at it going, actually, you know what? I don't want to be that guy. What if I want to write a beautiful ballad with just a piano and my voice? Do I then have to put a ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-tumbi in it and ruin the whole mood of the song? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Sometimes it just doesn't work,
It
right?
doesn't work. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to be forced to do a particular thing.
Yes.
You know, for example, on this album, there might be some chords and some sounds which are Eastern leaning because it creates a mood, but it's never contrived. It's not like, oh, this track sounds great. Now let's add a tabla loop.
Right.
Because that's what I do.
Right.
You know?
And I'm brown.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I have to do that.
Right.
It's like, it's as silly actually
Yes.
as having a Scottish person, a Scottish rapper, and then going, so I love your music, but where's the bagpipes in every song? Because it's missing. I need to hear the bagpipes. You're Scottish, right? That's what makes you Scottish if you put bagpipes in your music.
You're
it's that dumb,
absolutely right. Yes,
so I was like, I don't want to be that. You know, the fact is, I'm representing and flying the flag for our community just by being successful. That's what I really believe is the most important thing. As long as you're successful, as long as you're doing great things, I'm repping my community anyway.
Absolutely.
You know, that's how I look at it.
Over the last 10 years, I've met many, many people, many different types of personalities that are incredibly successful in what they do. From a musical artist perspective and even an actor perspective, as soon as they get to like a certain level of success, I always find that they almost forget they're brown. They almost forget like the media that supported them. They almost forget the community in terms of the fans that supported them. And now they're not important anymore.
Let me tell you.
You have not ever done that.
I can't and I won't ever. Let me tell you, there's an in-joke between me and my band. And they laugh, you know, as I said, I've been fortunate enough to tour the world, the entire planet. And it still confuses me how many Indians there are everywhere on planet Earth. We've spread everywhere. So the in-joke with my band is they're like, where there is Jay Sean, there will be Indians. It doesn't matter. I could be in Hong Kong. I could be in Australia. I could be in Switzerland, in Belgium, France. Guess what? At my concert, first 5, 10, 10, 15 rows, Indians.
Wow.
Just loyal.
Yes.
And the thing is, and even my band are blown away by it. They're like, my God, they love you so much. They show so much support. So how and why should I ever turn my back on them?
Right.
They're my livelihood. They're the people that made me, you know, and I can't forget that.
You just rock my world. I'm
I
telling
can't
you,
forget that. It's true, though.
You are just so authentic. I love your authenticity. And even when you say, you know what, I fucked up.
Yeah,
you say it. You say it. And I love that.
Because we're not perfect. We'll make mistakes.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the thing. And if you're honest about that, about the mistakes that you've made and, you know, or whatever it is, a bad performance or whatever, you have to acknowledge it because that's the only way you can get past it and move on. Yeah. Because everybody else knows it anyway. They're all saying it. So you might as well
admit it.
Right. It's like the Beyonce thing.
Yes.
Everybody was talking about it. So she's like, okay, you know what? Yes.
Yes.
I'll be honest with you. I did lip sync it.
Yeah.
She said it at the Super Bowl conference.
Yeah.
But she also blew everybody away with an absolutely live rendition without any music to show everybody, you know, F you, I can do this.
Everyone knows Beyonce can sing. So if she happens to lip sync every now and again for whatever the reason may be, we know she can sing.
Right. Here's what happens. A lot of people don't understand what a singer is going through when they're doing a performance. Let's say I was performing on X Factor. You have one shot, one song, you have 3 minutes, and it's live. You don't get to, if you mess up, you don't get to go again. It's TV, it's live. So, in that one moment, the only way we receive our music is through these two earpieces. We hear our voice on the microphone, and we hear the music. That's all we have. Now imagine something went wrong on the control panel with thing, and my microphone is blaring loud, and I can't even hear any music. You can't stop the show and go, excuse me, I'm sorry, I can't hear the music. I don't, you just go. You have to go. You have to carry on.
Yeah.
So that's why when you hear some singers who are singing, it sounds like in the key of Z.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, oh.
Yeah.
It's because they can't even hear their music. So they think that they're on point.
Right.
But they're actually singing in an entirely different register because they can't hear the music. They can't tell everybody to stop.
Right.
This is what happens. It happens to so many performers. And then, of course, nerves. We're human beings. We're not an instrument.
Of course.
If you're a guitar and you want to play ding, 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 you know exactly where to go. Ding, 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 ding. Right?
Right.
The human voice is not like that. You don't have little things you can press.
Right.
So if you're nervous, you're singing in front of the president or you're singing in front of whatever it is, Super Bowl. I mean, I don't know how people do this. It's unbelievable. Sing that anthem when the whole world is watching. Like what happened with Mariah Carey when her voice shook at Michael Jackson's funeral.
Yeah.
You're singing at Michael Jackson's funeral. Give her a break.
I know.
She's sad. Her voice is cracking. She's not, you know what I'm saying? The hardest thing to do in that situation is to deliver a perfect performance.
I mean, she could have an emotional experience at that moment.
People don't look at it like that, do they? Oh, she was off. Yeah. You know what's happening? What's really funny, I feel like a lot of us are victims of it. Just because we sit at home now and watch The Voice and watch American Idol and watch X Factor, we all suddenly think we're experts in the music industry. We're all sitting there judging, going, oh, she was flat on that note.
You're absolutely right.
Because
we all do that.
We all
when
do
I say
it.
we, I say me.
Yeah, listen, everybody does it.
Yes.
They think they're experts in the music industry. So the funny thing is, I would never go to a surgeon while he's performing an operation and go, excuse me, I watch ER and you're not doing that right. You're using a different tool. So I wouldn't do that.
No, you wouldn't.
He's an expert. Let him do what he does. Just because I watch a show about it doesn't make me an expert.
I absolutely agree.
Do you know what I'm saying?
So right. You're absolutely right in everything that you're saying. And now with social media and everything, everyone is a critic and everyone is a professional media personality.
Of course.
I mean, now
Everyone's
the world's got a soapbox.
Yeah.
It can get nasty really fast.
Yeah.
What is the single most valuable thing that you've learnt in the last 10 years of being Jay Sean, the musical artist?
I'll tell you the most important thing I learned. Don't place your happiness. Happiness is everything to me. To most people. Don't place that on any one thing. If I place my happiness, my entire happiness on a chart position, and how can I ever beat #1? I can't. I will only ever be doomed for unhappiness if I consistently try to chase that. Right. Instead, I place my happiness on, look what I've been blessed with. My amazing family. Yes. My best friends who I've had since I was 13 years old. You know, an incredible partner. You know, just my house in New York. My car. Like all of these beautiful dreams that I had have come true. Yes. That's my happiness. Whatever happens on that side is fine. I could get a number 80 in the charts. Yo, I'm happy over here.
Absolutely.
It's all good. You understand what I'm saying? You can't take that away from me.
Never.
So that's how it is.
And that's probably why, babe, you're always going to be so super successful, because your foundation is rooted in what matters.
Yeah, I just think that I was happy before I came into music.
Yeah.
I was a happy guy. Used to laugh all the time with my friends. Music should have only ever been a positive addition to my life and a bonus, not take away what I already had. You understand what I'm saying? So if it ever gets to that point, I have to remember what it is that actually truly made me happy, and that's it. It's kind of that simple for me.
So I'm super excited to see what you've got up your sleeve.
It's good stuff.
You have no idea. Thank you so much.
Of course.
For sitting here and chatting with me. I adore you, but you know that.
It's always a pleasure. You're so sweet. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my love.
Mwah. Thank you.
Mwah.